This whole process of using AI in academia is about building up an academic AI toolkit. And it's not something I've seen people talk about. So AI tools are exactly that. They're tools. But you need to incorporate them into what you want to use them for, a certain structure and way to use them in a certain order. And we'll talk about that in the next section. But ultimately, it's about creating a toolkit that benefits you the most. You need to know what's out there, but you need to create a personalized AI toolkit for this to be the most use to you. All right, so your academic AI toolkit should contain these specific things. A tool that allows you to semantically search a database that is appropriate for your field. So Elicit is an example of one of those, one of the best ones, one of the oldest ones at the moment, but you need a semantically searchable AI database of papers, and some fields don't have a big presence in certain journals, so you need to choose an AI tool that does have a good presence in the journals that you're interested in. We also need, on this second point, literature mapping. So once we found our literature, how are they interconnected? These were one of the most powerful sort of new tools for academics that only came out about 6 months to like 8 months ago, and it's just incredible to see the connections, and allows you to explore the literature using AI because they know how they're connected, and it's just so powerful. So that's the second sort of tool I recommend you have in your toolkit. The next one is reading papers. Reading papers is such a fundamental backbone to academia, but these AI tools allow you to skim papers much easier. There is still no getting around actually reading a paper from start to finish if it's super valuable for your research niche. However, you don't need to read all the papers from start to finish, and these AI tools that help you read the papers will easily and quickly allow you to identify which ones you should invest time in. The next sort of tool you need is a tool for questioning multiple documents. There are only a couple out there at the moment. There's some that are locally hosted, there are some that are cloud-based, but they're relatively affordable. And the one thing I've used these for is by uploading a load of data in a certain research question and then questioning all of the documents at once. It is a much more powerful way to search documents, and it's completely underutilized at the moment because there's a huge computational cost and a storage vectorizing cost in that. But if you can find the right tools, it can be invaluable for opening up new ideas and opening up connections and allowing you to easily sort of like find the questions, the answers to the questions you've got in multiple documents. It's so powerful. It's something that's not been able to be done efficiently until AI. Then we've got writing and editing. This is probably where the biggest controversy lies, is in writing and editing, but you do need an academic tool as part of your toolkit that allows you to write the boring stuff quickly, like the introductions, where you just need to get a feasible introduction that starts broad, narrows down to your specific field, offers some citations, and then you can then edit. There are not writing tools that enable you to, like, for example, put in all of your research data and then just say, hey, create something. That's not how it works at the moment. I'll talk about how you can kind of emulate that later on in this course, but there is nothing at the moment that just sort of takes raw data and turns it into a paper. We'll probably get there at some point, but that's what people are most scared of. And the last thing I would do is recommend that you look for specialized AI tools in your field. Some of them, for example, really hardcore data analysis can be done with some AI tools, looking for different samples and sample sizes and connections in sort of like drug discovery in, I think it's NextNet, for example. That's only really useful for people doing drug discovery, but there are probably tools out there that are specialized to your field, or they will become more common in the future. And I recommend including a couple of specialized AI tools in your field so that you know or you do a search regularly so you know what's out there and whether or not it's going to be useful. So those are the 6 areas of an academic AI toolkit that are going to allow you to do most of the most boring components of writing for academia much quicker, much more efficiently. So that's your academic AI toolkit. And this is one thing I want to say about it just as we move on, is that a toolkit is most effective when it is used in systems. Far too many people use AI as a system to get them what they want. That's not how this works at the moment, at least. You need to create a system, and we'll talk about creating one of those later, where it's like, okay, when I'm writing a paper, I need the data, I need the results and discussion. You know, that is the system, and you plug AI tools into the system that you create for yourself. And so you need to have a great system, and AI tools are not to be confused with, you know, putting in some data and getting something out the other end. It is a step in that system and a process. For example, when you're creating an introduction to a paper or a thesis, part of the system is using an AI tool like Jenny, for example, Jenny.ai, to create a first draft. That is what it should be used for. It does not get you to the end result of having an introduction, but it is used as part of the system, and then you can move on through that system. But it creates one, it starts helping you solve one part of the problem of getting to the end of writing a paper. So that's how you should think about using this AI toolkit. Too many people get really disappointed with AI tools because they feel like it should be just like a one button, one shot sort of solution to a problem. No, behind every problem, there's a structure and a system in place, or you should create one, and AI tools will help push you through that system much faster. That's how we should think about this. All right. Next, we're going to have a look at the ground rules for using AI in academia, and where a lot of people also sort of make the mistakes. And this is where I think AI gets its bad name from. All right, that's next.